Hello and happy holidays and welcome to my channel, Visions TV. I am Yolanda Kelley, creatively known as Naila Shay, and I am your life transformation and wellness coach. I want to say thank you to all of you for tapping in and joining me for my first installment here on Visions TV. I admit that my creating this channel and publishing content has been a long time coming. Almost a year ago today, I set my intentions and my goals for 2023, and publishing this channel was one of them, among many things that I intended to do this year. But I had planned to do it a lot sooner than now, but timing just wasn't right. It just wasn't right. And in all honesty, publishing now, or putting it up now, still feels a bit ill-timed and inopportune due to recent events in my life and in the lives of my many loved ones and people around me. However, I have a full realization of my assignment in the earth, and so I wanted to stay the course with my commitment to that assignment. And so here I am. Because it is truly my mission in life to empower, encourage, educate, and enlighten those whose lives I'm blessed to touch. And it is my hope that this particular video brings healing not only to me, but to every viewer that might be having a rough time during this holiday season. Full transparency, I have had to really push myself to do this. It was challenging. It's been a challenging time this year to kind of get into my normal flow of Christmas. For me, Christmas is about celebrating the birth of Christ. That's first and foremost. I don't care about anything else, to be very honest, but the birth of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. And because if it weren't for him, we would not be here. I'm not into all the commercialism and the shopping. I mean, that's great. It's more about me spending time with family and giving. And there's so many ways to give. And so this is one of my ways of being able to give back. But, I've found myself saying, it feels different. This year just feels very different. And then I had quite a few people that I know that were saying, I don't really feel like, I'm in the mood for the holidays. It just feels weird. It feels very weird. And so that kind of seemed to be the sentiment of a lot of people around me, because there's been so much going on just in the world, in our personal lives. And so again, this video is to just really bring some encouragement and send some love and light to all of you who are viewing. Please, I'm going to say it. It's so funny. It's so funny that my hair doing. Anyway, I got to learn how to not be so rigid on these things. I love when people just naturally flow. And so that's what I'm going to do. But again, I've heard so many people just say they just don't really feel like, it just doesn't feel like Christmas. It doesn't feel the same. And I have to say that it's been the same way for me a bit. Just waking up every day and just trying to be grateful, or not trying to be, but being grateful just for the day and being alive. And so I just wanted to, my hair's always, it has its own personality. So it's still, but I wanted to honor my commitment to my assignment. I wanted to honor my commitment to my assignment while still being true to where I am and true to where my loved ones are, many of my loved ones and people around me. And it's so interesting that I found myself saying this earlier this year when one of my dearest loved ones passed away, and I was releasing the actual book, Good Grief. And so, this installment is in memory of Thomas Manning, Aaron Nevers, Kevin K. Penceal Sr., and Patricia Hammond. Patricia, she just transitioned a few weeks ago. She left our lives. I say it, I'm guilty of saying I lost, someone when they've passed away, but in reality, they're not lost at all. But she transitioned and left our lives, or left this physical world a few weeks ago. Just a few weeks ago. We just laid her to rest two weeks ago, and so we're still dealing with the feelings and the emotions with that. And I don't think that you should rush out of what you feel. Bishop Kevin K. Penceal, he just passed away in June, and so still dealing with that. And Aaron, the top of this year, and that again, not, no, it doesn't even matter who it is. My uncle Tom, almost over a year ago, a little over a year ago, and the holidays always seem like, to me, to be a very, very trying time when it comes to losing loved ones, or especially if you lose a loved one around the holidays. And it's interesting that Pat, I called her Aunt Pat, but she was a missionary at my church. But she's very much a part of my village, with my entire family. Took very, very good care of my mom and my aunt, who are pastors and assistant pastors of my church, and she cared for them very, very well. And Christmas happened to be her favorite holiday, and so, I'm just trying to again honor the holiday, honor the people who lost loved ones this year that were close to me, and honor my assignment, and honor and be true to myself. And so, yes, in memory of them. And I want to send love and light and prayers and blessings to their loved ones. Always still praying for you all, always staying or keeping you in my heart. And I will continue to pray. And we're just going to continue to get through this one day at a time. And I heard my mom and my aunt and quite a few people in my family say when my grandmother passed away, that it doesn't get better, it just gets different. And I can probably attest to that. And that kind of will segue me into the next part of the next thing I want to say, which is this video is also in honor of the birthday of my late husband, Kenneth Kelley, who's celebrating, or would have been celebrating, his birthday today. His birthday was on Christmas Eve. And so, but let me go back a bit, in addition to the people that passed away this year, those dear loved ones to me, I also lost 2 childhood friends by way of death. And so it's been a lot, it's just been a lot of death. And that's not even the beginning of the losses that we could ever talk about. There's loss due to, loss of jobs, loss of relationships, loss of, just security for some people. So many different ways of losing. You could lose a pet, you could lose, the ability to care for yourself. And so I'm kind of getting ahead of myself, because that's what the book that I will announce, Good Grief, is about. As you know, my daughter's getting ready for her Friendsmas, and she's in the kitchen. I actually wanted to have her and my mom come on and be a part, and it was kind of last minute notice, just to share their perspective of, how they get through the holidays. And so I want to kind of I'll just interject that now. You can hear my daughter in the back, but she's preparing. Aaron is one of her best friends, and like a child to me, a son to me, and her best friend's fiance. And her and her friends are actually going to be getting together tonight for their Friendsmas, which they started last year. Did you start it last year, Shakia? Did y'all start Friendsmas last year? Yes. Yeah, they started their Friendsmas last year, and it was supposed to be an annual thing, and Aaron was there. And so I think at one point One of the people was like, they weren't certain they wanted to do it because it's going to be hard for them to do it and he's not here. And it is going to be hard. And so I love the fact that they are still putting just as much effort and energy into having Friendsmas, even more so. He's here with us in spirit, as is my Uncle Tom, again, who passed away last year. And I love my Aunt Frida, sending my love to Aunt Frida and Jade and Jacinta, my entire family, who's watching, I'm sure. And also to the Penceal family. The feelings are very raw, and when you kind of lose people back to back to back to back, it's like, what do you do? What do you do with, those feelings? So anywho, I don't think I was looking at the camera or anything, but it's okay. Y'all get the gist of what I'm saying. So what I was about to say earlier was that this video is also in honor of my late husband, Kenneth Kelley's birthday. His birthday is Christmas Eve. Has always been on Christmas Eve. And so I wanted to honor him by doing this. The years come and go. It's been 7 years. It's been 7 years. Yeah, it's been 7 years since he transitioned, and as I say, got his angel wings, and he's celebrating his birthday in heaven with our Lord. And so it never gets easy. It just never gets easy. You just learn how to move through life each day, and you celebrate your loved ones. And for me, I try to keep them in my memory. I try to mention their names as often as it comes to me. I don't try to not talk about them. I don't try to not reminisce about things that, they said or did or whatever. And that's my way. One thing that you'll know, and again, we'll talk about the book, is kind of segueing into the book, Good Grief, and then the topic for today. And I don't want to be on here very long, but, everybody grieves, right? But we all have a different way of doing it. Some people cry a lot, some people talk, some people hold it in, but the idea of good grief is to grieve in a healthy way, but make sure you grieve. And so I'm going to put a pin in that for a second. But Kenny's birthday, so it's interesting, and it's so funny. I didn't want to, going back to what I said in the beginning about it being taking a long time for me to create this channel or publish here. I didn't really want good grief to be the topic that I launched the channel with. And I kind of labeled this a soft launch because I didn't do any promoting of it really, except for yesterday, just to say that I was going to be doing a soft launch today in the way that I'm doing it. That was best for me. Again, to honor everything that's been going on, but still honor the mission and the assignment. So, Kenny Kelley, I've never really publicly talked about him transitioning or not in detail. And I'm not sure that I'll do that here today because I'm not really trying to this is not to bring you down any more than we might be. I don't want us to feel low. I'm hoping that by the end of this segment or this episode, you will feel a little lighter. You will know that someone is out here praying with and for you, whether I know you or not. And yes, so I am praying with and for you, like I said, whether I know you or not. I don't need to know you to pray for you because we all experience loss in one way or another, the worst way being by way of losing a loved one by way of death. And so, I just want us to know that this season, and while challenging, we're going to get through it. We'll get through it together. For those who've lost spouses, going back to mine. Like I said, I don't want to spend this video going into the details, but I will say that the next few episodes after this will focus on good grief in the book, and then I want to move on to something else. This channel, so let me finish telling you about Kenny, and then I'll get into what this channel is going to be about, and then we're going to go from there. So one of the reasons why I wanted to also acknowledge Kenny for his birthday. I was always been very quiet about it. I might post something on Facebook or Instagram or whatever, but everybody knows the movie Lean On Me, right? And one of the most famous scenes from that movie is the bathroom scene with Morgan Freeman and the guys that are singing in the bathroom. And well, everybody calls him Sam's, but his name is Jermaine, actor named Jermaine, Morgan Freeman. And then of course the gentlemen, who at the time their name was the Playboys. And then they changed their name to Riff, became the group Riff. And so the guy that you see in the bathroom that does the very side, and he stops again and he goes, very side. And then they all come in and they sing in amazing harmony. Well, that guy was my husband, Kenneth Kelley. And a lot of people know him from that, or at least they know that scene. But many people don't know that he passed away. And I don't know, like maybe quite a few times this year, I had been on the road doing shows and different things like that. And somehow got to talking about, I don't know, this work, life coaching work and transformation work. When it's your passion, it just kind of finds you. And so you tend to find yourself encouraging people, even when you didn't plan to, or sharing your testimony or sharing your story with people when you didn't even mean to. And so, or didn't plan to, I should say. And so I have been sharing it with some people, and they were like, oh my goodness, yeah, we know who that is, but we didn't know he passed away. And so, I just wanted to kind of shed a little light on that fact. Yes, he made his transition in 2016, and I'm not going to get into the details of it, but I will say it was pretty traumatic. And it was definitely sudden and traumatic for me. And somebody's like, well, why don't you just share? Oh my God, why do we have to wait? Well, again, I don't want to spend the time because it is a long story. And I want to, because I've shared it in the past with, just interjecting, that I found him and things like that. But I never really took the time to really, really tell the story. And I feel that he is owed that and he's due that. But I don't want to take away from the people that I'm feeding or reaching out to in this video, in this episode, to tell that story today, because that's not what today is about. Today is about coping through, and so I guess I'll say the title, good grief, coping with grief during the holidays. So, my husband, he liked to celebrate Christmas. And he wasn't, it's so funny. He was never one of those people that I would hear say that he, felt some kind of way because his birthday was like, during the holidays or the day before Christmas or whatever, again, I'm going to share his story. He gave me permission to share his story. And, so I'm grateful for him. I'm grateful for the time that we shared together, the impact that he had in the world. And so watch this video.
Fair east side. By thy side will stand and always praise thy name. Praise thy name, praise thy name. To ever, yeah. Lend our hearts and hands to help increase thy fame. Ooh, Lord, the honor, yeah, of ofthe side, cause forth our loyalty. Loyalty. So cheap.
All right. Who taught you that? Answer me. I know you didn't do it yourselves. Sams.
What?
Who taught you this song? Speak up!
Mrs. Powers.
Mrs. Powers, eh? Come with me, all of you.
People, oh, no. Now, you must remember, we need intonation, phonation, accuracy, and pitch. Now, this is your note.
Mrs. Powers,
Yes, sir.
these hoodlums have told me something I can't believe. Are you the one who changed the school song like that?
Mrs. Powers,
Let her answer.
Well, sir, the children thought the song was a bit boring.
Boring, huh? Mrs. Powers, I have never heard a school song like that. And I certainly never authorized you to change it. Did I? Did I?
No, you didn't.
I want everyone in this school to learn that song in English and Spanish immediately. Take a bow, Mrs. Powers. You've rewritten our alma mater.
bring forth our loyalty. So cheap for dear road, Isali on to victory.
What you got in there, Malachi?
My future.
All right.
All aboard,
Oh, you got it.
all aboard, yes, Eastside. All aboard,
How's it going, Mr. Darnell? Good. That's great.
Yeah, so that was my husband. I played that whole video. I like to hear all the way to the end because the voice that you hear at the beginning and the end. And I didn't really realize that again until just now. So I, listened to it before preparing for this. And the ad-libs at the end, all aboard, that's Kenny. And I just want to say, he really, really loved the guys. He loved the guys of Rift. I'm going to say shout out to all of them: Anthony, Dwayne, Mike, and Steve, and to his godchildren and to his family. Shout out to you guys. Just celebrating our angel's birthday and just giving him some honor. I always want to keep his memory alive. I'm going to do this without getting emotional. Sorry, guys. I'm a crier. I'm a crier. So that is the way that I let out my feelings. So I allow myself to feel, and in the however many days, years, weeks, whatever, on this channel, one of the things that you will hear me say often is to feel, deal, and heal. I didn't create that. It's something that I took away or adapted from one of my teachers by way of distance, Iyanla Van Zant, feel, deal, and heal. And so if you feel like crying today, cry. If you feel like screaming, scream. if you want to get angry, get angry. And so I do give honor to him. Yeah, I give honor to him, both from my family, me and my daughter. We give honor to Kenny on his birthday. And so I'm going to move on. But like I said, in the weeks to come or some other episodes, we'll talk more about, how, he transitioned and, because again, I want to give honor to that and make sure that the world knows. But again, going back to this title, Good Grief, where are my notes? Because I have to write notes and stuff so that I don't forget things. I will say this with regards to Lena. I mean, that was probably one of the biggest highlights of his life. Something he was very, very proud of. Always recognized everywhere he went. Always recognized. People would recognize him, and that was it had its pluses and its minuses at times. But he loved that movie. He loved the group riff. And so again, shout out to them and shout out to Skip Van Rensselaer, who was their manager, and to his sisters and siblings and so on and so forth. So I'm going to move on. But let me get to my notes, which are where I have no idea where they are. So, yeah. So just to give a little background on the book, before I do that, I get to say what people have said all the time. I have to interject this. I do not consider myself to be an influencer. Well, I guess, if you're a coach, not an influencer in the sense of the word, like online influencer. I don't really know what my hair is doing. I should have taken it out and put it back up or something, but it's fine. It's just not falling the way I want it to. But anywho, again, my daughter's making a little noise over there, but again, she's getting ready for her friend's, but I just want to acknowledge, again, amidst all of the stuff that's been going on, she likes to decorate, and she decorated our home, and she's still got some decorating to do. And so shout out to Shakia. Again, I would have loved to have her on here, and she'll be on. You guys will see her. Y'all please forgive me, because one thing about having locks, I'm always playing in my hair. And especially if I see it sticking up, my mom calls it my personality. So I try to make sure that they're not sticking up. But anywho, I'm rambling. So the title, Good Grief, Coping with Grief During Holidays. So you heard me mention earlier that at the top of this year, February 17th, which is my birthday, see, I saw one, which is my birthday, I actually did a pre-release of my book, Good Grief. And it was kind of a similar situation like this. I did it, because it was my birthday. That was always the plan. And the 3 days prior to that was when we lost Aaron in the physical realm, in our lives, in the physical. And so I did my best to put it out. I still haven't had an actual release. So I guess, you can consider this to be a soft launch of this channel and a release, if you will, of the book. So please, I'm going to put the link to Good Grief, my book, Good Grief. You'll see it on the screen in the comments or in the description of this video. Okay, just to give a little background on the book. But before I do that, I get to say what people have said. I've watched for many episodes on YouTube of different people that I subscribe to. So I'm going to ask you to click the subscribe button and please subscribe to our channel. Also, share this video, share our channel with someone, especially now in this season, someone that you might know who might be, I'm sorry, I got distracted. Some guy who's walking out the window looking like a Long Ranger. I don't really know. Anyway, sorry, I got distracted. But somebody that could definitely benefit from this video. in this channel. And like the video. Please like the video. We want to get our likes up. Also, you can follow me on Instagram at only1naylashea at, I was going to say only1naylashea at Gmail. Oh my goodness. Well, that's my Gmail address. My email address. But you can follow me on Instagram at only1naylashea at Gmail. You'll see it on the screen. It's either going to be down here or up there. I don't know where I'm going to put it, but it'll be there. Once, I get past and get used to editing my videos and things like that, I'll kind of have a little handle on where to tell you to look. You can also, I'll tell you to click the link. If the link appears up here, click the link and you can click it. And I'm going to put the link. I'm definitely going to put the link for the book so that you can buy the book. It is available on Amazon, but on Instagram, only the number 1, Naylashea. That's ONLY, the number 1, NELASHEE. For those that cannot see it on the screen, I don't know why you couldn't, but it's going to be on the screen. And also at Visions of Hope, at Visions of Hope. You can also find me on Facebook. And I'm going to be launching a TikTok channel just for this TV channel. For this channel, it's going to be called Visions Unplugged. Visions Unplugged. And it could be simply something as simple as giving the word of the day or encouragement of the day or encouragement. Slow down, Yolanda. Encouragement of the week. So stay tuned for that. I'm going to say this right now. Y'all pray for me because I have not been the best at posting. I'm not in the space yet where I can have someone post for me, but it's coming. But I like to be hands-on with my content. Making sure I got everything with regards to you sharing. But like I said, like, subscribe, and share this post with someone. Everybody's welcome. And I'll ask you this, please be very, very respectful with your comments. Please, 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 I'm begging you not to use this channel or the comments area as a space to vent your frustrations against anyone else, or if someone decides to share how they grieve, that is their experience. It doesn't mean that it has to be your experience, nor does your experience have to be theirs or mine yours. So let's just respect everyone, right? Let's respect everyone's choices, everyone's space. Let's respect everyone's choice to be here, to visit. I will delete your comment if it becomes abusive or offensive to anyone. If it becomes offensive to me, I have honestly, I'll never forget, I was teaching, and I'll keep the organization nameless, but I remember I was teaching, presenting as a life coach for an organization on one of their YouTube lives, and the comments, the way the people were commenting about my beliefs and my faith, and against the person or persons that had me on, because of my position on certain topics. And so one thing is certain: everyone has a perspective and everyone has a point of view. And I'm learning more and more that our perspectives 9 times out of 10 are not going to line up, but they may or they may not, but we get to respect everyone's perspective. And again, I'm learning how to do that. I'm learning that just because you don't share my perspective does not mean that we have to be angry with one another about it. Let's do so in kindness and lead with grace. And that is really, really the ground rules for this channel. I can't speak to anyone else's channel, but please, let's keep our comments and our communications with one another graceful, and season our words with grace and be kind. Because that's really the essence of who I am. That is my heart. And I don't, I will not sit and watch anyone be mistreated, nor will I receive that from anyone. But everyone is welcome here. So please, let's be, and I respect all of you, and I'm asking you to do the same for me. So the book, Good Grief. As I said earlier, I released the book. I don't know if I went back into it because I had to edit some things out, but earlier this year, for my birthday, I had released or did a soft release or pre-release. Actually, I released the, what do you call it? I can't even think what it is. The ebook was going on sale. Excuse me, I did pre-sales. That's what it was. Did pre-sales. Excuse me, for my birthday. And then again, 3 days prior to that, we lost our beloved Aaron in this physical realm by way of a car accident, and it was just too much. It was crazy and just untimely and unfair, and you want to talk about being angry, and it was just a lot. So, but I again, still trying to be true to my mission in the earth and the need for this kind of content. I wanted to make sure that I still got the book out. And so I never really had like a actual book signing or book release. That'll come. It is what it is. But I do encourage you to go and get the book. Again, the link will be in the bio, and it'll also appear on somewhere on the screen, up there or over there, or maybe down there. I don't know. Up here, up there, down there. I don't know. It'll be somewhere. Like I said, once I get a handle on where I'm placing stuff with my post editing, then I'll be able to be a little more familiar with where the links and stuff are going to go. But click the link when you see it pop up, and it'll take you right to Amazon, and you can get the book. And yes, it's the holidays, but it's never too late to get a gift. Get this as a gift for someone. I'm not trying to use this as a plug, but you know what? It's written to help us, right? And so please definitely share the book. Good Grief is the name of the book. You'll see it on the screen, and click the link when you see it, and click the link in the bio. And I hope it's a blessing to you. I also have a book called Confessions from a Broken Place, Her Story, His Glory. It's based on the true story of my life. And so you can also get that at Amazon as well. Good Grief is available on Kindle. And so, and soon, hopefully, all of those, both of those will also be available on Audible or audiobook. So again, one of those things that I have on my plate to do, but some other pressing things have taken precedence, which is a good thing. So, just keep your fingers crossed with me with that. Keep me in prayer with that. But Good Grief, that title is so apropos. And my aunt and Pastor Elaine Merritt gave me the title to that book. She actually wrote the foreword in the book. And, Good Grief is really about making sure we grieve, right? And grieve in a healthy way. I think it's safe to say that everyone does grieve, but then there are some people who don't grieve in a healthy way. In one of the future series or episodes, I'm going to be talking about healing in a healthy way, because there's a school of thought that thinks that we're healing when we really aren't. And it's not our fault, because in many cases, and these are things that I've seen as a coach and counselor, and some of my colleagues, I have some friends that are psychologists, and I have some friends that are coaches as well. There is a I don't know what I can call it, but I don't even want to call it a school of thought, but there's something that's happening where our, and I'll say our meaning globally, coping mechanisms, we're not coping well. And I don't think it's anything new, but I just think right now that the cover is being taken off of it. I think that in some cases it's been exposed. I believe spiritually there is a great reason for this coming up and coming out now. And I think that this is a time for us to be able to heal properly and heal in the right way. And so going back to what I said about Iyanla, feel, heal, deal, there's going to be so many books and so many people that you're going to hear me mention about healing. And like I said, and I hope to be able to do the series that I'm talking about, healing in a healthy way. I don't know that that's going to be the title of it, but that will certainly be the focus. That's going to be coming up hopefully within the next, I know it'll be the top of the year. I have plans to collaborate with one of my theater friends, my thespian friends, who's also a life coach. And we just happened to be posting like the same thing, the same content one day. And we were like, oh my goodness, like we really should collaborate on this, because this is something that's happening where people are not really dealing and not healing, not feeling. And so you're not healing properly. You have your fight, flight, fawn, and freeze. We'll get into talking about that because we've heard these terms, but may not necessarily know what they mean, or may not even realize or be aware of what our coping mechanism is. We all have one, and some of it is just controlled by learned behavior. Some of it's just our what we skew to, what we just lean into, what we've been doing since we were children. So this all ties into even good grief, like the way that you or the way that we cope with grief. Like some people, like I said, I'm a crier. I'm going to cry. Like I'm going to cry. And outside, whether it's death or I cry when I get angry, but but I'm gonna get it out. Another one of the topics that we'll be talking about here is the mind-body connection. I am big on that. And the reason I'm big on that is because I believe that we as human beings can have the tendency to hold our emotions in, and emotions are energy, and energy has to flow, and listen, again, I said this, no disrespect, but I know that there are people who don't, certain people that don't get into talking about chakras and meditation and all this, that, and the other. For those of you who are against that are spiritual, but are against that, I ask you to go back and restudy. Nothing is new under the sun. God created it all. He created everything. And there's a reason why he created energy. Energy. Everything that exists is energy. The chair I'm sitting in is energy. There's atoms and molecules and neurons and all kinds of stuff in the air that we don't see. It's energy. The blood that's flowing through our bodies is energy. And so emotions are energy. And I remember when I was early in my acting years, I had taken this class to just learn how to deal with emotions, especially when it came to auditioning, because most nerve-wracking thing that you could ever experience is like auditioning. So this particular exercise, and maybe one day I'll do it with you guys, it's an emotional tool where you just really take the label off of the emotion. And somebody's like, well, how do you do that? The bottom line, and I'm not going to even try to go into it now, but the bottom line is to just really connect with the actual emotion, the why of it, and then try to just almost detach from the story that your mind is telling you about it. Now, as it relates to grief, that's not even something I could fathom, because the reality of it is yes, my loved one passed away. Yes, I lost my job. Yes, my friend walked out on me. Yes, my boyfriend or girlfriend betrayed me. My husband cheated on me. Yes, I lost a child. All of these different scenarios that can come up that cause grief, right? How do I detach from that story? The idea is to not keep telling the story to pity yourself. Connect with the story to connect with the emotions around the story so that you can be true to your feelings about what happened. Because in reality, it's not a story. It happened. Like, my body knows that this actually happened. My body is very clear. My mind is very clear about what happened. And so I get to choose whether or not I'm going to stay in the pain of it. Am I going to feel the pain of it and then continue to move through? I'll never, ever, you'll never, ever, 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 ever hear me say here on this channel or ever to get over it. Never, never, ever, ever, ever. But you'll never, ever, ever, excuse me, hear me say that. I have heard people say to people, oh, you know, it's time for you to get past that. Oh, it's time for you to this. You and I, each of us get to take the time that we need to deal with what it is that we're feeling as a part of the healing process. As it relates to the holidays, again, you know, there's no cookie cutter way to tell you how to deal with this. You know, I'll use my family. Like I said, I think I said earlier, I was going to have my daughter and my mom be apart, and we were going to, I was going to try to share another perspective, or have them share their perspective of what they do. And it doesn't matter, because their perspective may not be something that you would do or want to do or whatever. And my perspective may not be yours or theirs or whatever. But one thing I know about my family, I believe in family dynamics. I believe very much that either you become what you saw in your family, or you go the complete opposite. And that can be healthy in some ways, and it could not be. But I will say this, my family, we forged through, right? I can always tell when, my mom, my aunt, and I think I do it a little bit too. I'm just not sure yet. But I can always tell when they're bothered by something. They may not actually say it. And especially when, someone's ill or someone has passed away, they start moving about, they start cleaning and, all kinds of stuff. And that's what they do. I'm a push forward type of person, while at the same time allowing myself to be true to how I feel. And I laugh because I keep saying I'm a crier. Like, there have been times when I literally would be at my desk at work or something. And thank God for cubicles, right? Because when I feel it, I just let it happen. And sometimes I'd have to go to the bathroom and I would cry or whatever. I might be riding in the car and the song might come on. Oh, one of the things I too want to talk about, and we'll be talking about in the weeks to follow, are triggers. Triggers are very, very real. Birthdays are a trigger. So, i.e., today is Christmas Eve and it's Kenny's birthday, and that is always going to be in here. I wouldn't call it a trigger, but it's always going to bring up the fact that he's not here, but triggers are very real. And I'm going to be talking about that on this channel in months and weeks to come, while we're talking about good grief, because triggers are very real. And I encourage you not to run from them. I encourage you to acknowledge that they exist, because one of the things about triggers is it takes us right back to that time. And it really makes you almost stop in your tracks, if not actually stopping your tracks. I have had triggers that actually made me, it literally took me back to the moment. And I had to stop and I had to feel until I could get through it. Now, the trigger doesn't have the same effect anymore. So I encourage you not to run from them, but I encourage you to connect. And that's what I'm saying about the emotional tool. Connect with what you feel. Ways of doing this. I can get into this now, and you'll always hear me talk about ways of, dealing, because, the way that we deal with life, there's so many different ways. The way that you process energy and help energy flow through the body, many of them are the same. You can write it out. You can journal. You can sing, you can write songs, write music. I mean, it doesn't matter whether anyone's going to hear the songs. Write a song, write a poem. Therapy? Yeah, go to therapy. A lot of people, it's so funny. Therapy was, not as big prior to the pandemic as it is now. After the pandemic, a lot of people being housed in with people that they didn't want to be stuck with forever, or people having to be home alone, or just being in lockdown period or on lockdown period, made people need to talk to people. And there's a story that comes to mind of a dear friend of mine, one of my best friends, and he how his life kind of unfolded when COVID happened and he couldn't work, because he had up until that point busied himself so much with his career that his trauma and his pain were unattended to. And it didn't bode very well. And hopefully I can have him share that one day, or he'll allow me to share. But that is a coping mechanism that many people have. Be busy. Let me get busy. Let me stay busy, stay busy, stay busy. And I have no problem with being busy or being busy, but it's important for us to take the time to allow ourselves to feel. I can't say it any better than that. To feel. Feeling is important. I want to interject this, and again, you'll probably hear me say this too. And I'm not this on this channel. You'll hear me refer to certain books. You'll hear me refer to some music and different things like that, because I want to highlight certain people's books, and I want to highlight certain music and stuff that I like. This is, this channel in of itself is, yes, to empower, educate, inspire, enlighten, but it's also going to be some fun stuff. You might find me on YouTube, or find me here on Visions TV or Visions Unplugged, going to a restaurant or something and highlighting their restaurant or a particular meal, or, you guys can definitely DM me on Instagram or hit me up in the comments or whatever, with little things like that, things that you'd like to hear me talk about and things that you'd like to hear me address. If you have any questions regarding this, feel free, because I'll do a follow-up too. Again, so sorry about the background noise. My daughter's preparing for an event tonight. Yesterday, by the time you see this. But it's important to me that we get to, partner and share information as best as possible. So if you have anything you want to, ask me with regard to this topic or anything else, feel free to do so, and I'll look in the comments and I'll pull the information, and we'll do follow-ups, and I'll address it either in the comments or I'll come back on. And let me say this, I'm hoping to be able to do content and post here once a week. Hope to do so. I'm hoping. Hopefully. That is my goal, to do that once a week, if not every other week. I want to keep this going because I'm finding that, and I'm not the end all be all life coach. I just think that, I have my people that I connect with and that I will connect with. There's room for everybody in the earth, right? There's room for us to all fulfill our duties in the earth and our assignments in the earth. And so, whatever my role is and my responsibility is to contribute to that, I want to fulfill that. So, going back to what I was saying, but we need to allow ourselves to feel. So those triggers, when they come, feel them. Yes. Get in contact with a therapist. Find a therapist. Like, there was a show, I was going to tell you about a book, and I'm going to get to that. Well, I'm going to leave that there because I'm going to refer to that in another video. But I was watching something recently. They were talking about dating your therapist, right? Not actually dating, but actually like shopping. Shopping therapists. I am a firm believer that therapy should be a normal part of our self-care, just like going to the doctor is. Now, I feel like we go to the doctors for routine checkups and physicals and things like that once a year. I think therapy should at least be once a month or once a quarter, just for routine, soul check. I have a term that I call soul injury, and soul injury, soul trauma, or emotional injury, emotional trauma. We hear people talk about emotional trauma. It is very real. And I think that right now, where we are in this world right now, people are feeling more, but they don't know how to deal with that, that much. So I'm just wanting to give you different ways to cope, in this season. Don't fight your feeling. Just be real and be true to yourself. If you have accountability partners or people that you can talk to, pick up the phone. And, one of the things I talk about in Good Grief is community. It's nothing worse than pushing people that love you away, or people that care for you away. There are people that prefer to isolate, and they don't want people around them to see them hurting. They don't want, that's just the way they cope. But I encourage you, if that is your normal way of handling things, to reach out, talk to someone, get in community. Community is important. I have a couple of communities actually. And, make time for them, make time for community, just to do what, some of people in my community, one of my communities, call wellness check. Do a wellness check for yourself, for, your loved ones, because everybody that looks like they're okay is not okay. And some people don't cry. Some people don't let things out. Some people are smiling in our faces and they're not well. They're not doing well. They're going from day to day. And they're not talking to anyone. They're not dealing with life well, and the things that are happening in life. And I know life is going to continue to happen. We're going to continue to experience, loss and grief and different things like that. And I hate to have to say that, but it's just true. And so I just guess that I want to learn as well as share how to cope with that and deal with that better, and deal with that in a way that really, really does serve us. So I mentioned journaling. I mentioned screaming and crying. Listen, crying is very important. One of my directors for the Color Purple that I did in Denver Center, for the Performing Arts, his name is Tim Douglas. Hi, Tim. In case you watch this, amazing director. And I learned how to, for the first time, cry and sing. I've been singing my entire life, and I am an ugly crier. And so crying and singing did not come together well at all. I would literally have to stop. And he taught us how to, because what was happening with this particular Color Purple was we were connected and dropped in so much to the work, into the story in the ministry of the Color Purple. Sidebar, I am so excited to go see the Color Purple tomorrow. Okay, I had to put that there. But we were so connected. And one of my friends is in it, actually. One of the guys that played the preacher in this particular Color Purple I'm telling you about. And he was in the Denver Center for the Performing Arts, Color Purple. And so we were connected and so dropped in with the story that was being told in the ministry of the Color Purple, that every day, like he would tell us to show up every day new. Don't worry about yesterday, but to show up new. With new, just show up fresh. Like, stop trying to, or not trying to replicate what we did the day before on stage or the day before in rehearsal or whatever. And I'm telling you, every day, when we committed to be authentic in the moment and show up, every day we were crying. Most, if not all of us, were crying on stage, and it resonated with the audience. And I can't tell you, one day I'm going to play. And it's so funny, I struggled with Visions TV, how I would, if I should just start another, like put content for Nay Lachey on my personal YouTube channel, which is at Naila Shay 7. But I'm just going to have to, it's going to commingle. It's going to commingle on occasion, because I always believed that my work or my worlds would collide. And recently I have seen, and I'm seeing how my worlds are colliding with regards to the work of acting and how it heals me, the people that I work with. Yeah, I'm going to put a button in that. I won't even go any further with that, but you're going to hear me talk about that again. You're going to hear me talk about, again, just how the work heals. And so this director basically just, encouraged us to just really be authentic and how we felt. And those emotions would come up, and it was so healing. And there are situations where you're told in this industry, or in the industry, not the life coaching industry or the mental health industry, but in the theater industry, you're told not to cry on stage, or not to cry on camera, or in auditions and different things like that. They're like, fight that back. And I don't encourage fighting my tears back. I just don't. Like I told you, I'm a crier. So, I encourage you to let that flow. And the reason is, in this next quote I'm going to tell you that my director shared, is the reason I feel this way. He told us tears are urination for the soul. And if I understand urination to be the way by which my body eliminates toxins from my body, tears are also, a way of eliminating toxins and hurt and all kinds of energy from the body. So God gave us tear ducts for a reason. Use them. So put on some music. Sometimes, some people don't agree with this, but I'm telling you, it works. Music has an important part. Music, someone said music calms a savage beast, right? There is such a thing called music therapy. Music therapy, to treat children and people, just to calm them. And, you can look it up for yourself. Music therapy. So many different therapies out there, in addition to sitting and talking to someone, that can help aid in cleansing our bodies and letting the energy flow, and so on and so forth. So music is a good vehicle by which we can put music on and literally cry. So I encourage you to have a cry session. That sounds ridiculous to you, don't it? It's not. Have a cry session. Put on some music and literally cry. It'll help you. And so that's a way. So I said journal. I said put on music. I said sing, dance. You remember the episodes of Grey's Anatomy when Grey and them were really trying to get out of a funk, and they would literally just put music on and dance. There's a reason. Something happens when you start to move the body. Maybe you're like, okay, what does this have to do with coping during the holidays? I'm doing my best to give you tools to deal with coping in this season with grief. I'm not even telling you to do anything to try to make the grief go away. That's crazy. No way am I trying to do that, because we're all grieving. We're grieving. Feel your moments. If you're driving in the car, you feel like crying, cry. If you want to scream, scream. That's why the cover of the book has all those different faces on it. It's got laughter. Like something happened to me earlier today. I got so aggravated because it was something that just didn't make sense for it to be happening. And I just busted out laughing. I just laughed. An audible, guttural, stomach, deep belly laugh, like laughed and just kept laughing. I found myself doing that a couple of times this week. Things might drop on the floor and something, just like, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to keep laughing. I'm going to keep laughing until I can't laugh no more. Somebody said to laugh to keep from crying. Laugh to keep from crying. And when you can't do that no more, then just cry. Let it out. Let it out. Share it with someone. Find someone that will be in support with you, that'll help you through. Above all, please, 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 don't do this alone. You don't have to do this alone. I have a saying, don't go up here by yourself. Don't do it. Don't do it, because the devil, and I mean, for those of you that might watch my channel and, may not know, I am a believer. I'm a kingdom citizen. I am a child of God. And you'll hear me speak biblical terms, or terms in terms of the Bible, or spiritual terms. And I appreciate you for being here, but I have to be who I am. Sorry if that's not your you don't believe in Jesus Christ or what have you. You're more than welcome to be here, but that's how I get down. So again, you just, the devil is very cunning, and he has a way of trying to isolate us so that he can really, really attack us and attack our minds, so that he can keep us from reaching out for help. So he can steal our joy, steal our minds, and really accomplish taking our lives if he can do that. Mental health is very real. It is important to exercise the tools that we have available to us. I don't know it all, and I don't know them all, but I certainly am going to share the ones that I do know, and will help in any way I can to connect you with, people that can help. Like I said, I have colleagues that are psychologists and, other life coaches. Maybe you're not my demographic, or maybe they have a niche that caters more to you. But whatever it is, please allow yourself to grieve in a healthy way. Allow yourself to grieve and do what's best for you. Surround yourself with love. Surround yourself with your family. You heard me say earlier something about I try to call my loved ones that have gone on their names as often as it comes to me. You'll see that in the book as well. I remember a story about a woman who, and this is actually in the book. She was on Dr. Phil, and I think the woman, her daughter was killed or something, and Dr. Phil was encouraging the mother to act in a certain way to honor her daughter, because the mother felt like by not saying her daughter's name and by holding on to certain clothing items for like ever. This is years, and please let me be very careful in how I say this. You do what you need to do in your time. Again, there's no cookie cutter way to handle grief. You do what you need to do in your time. But in this particular case, I think it may have been years and years, like 20 something years or what have you. And he was just trying to encourage her to let go of some of the things so that she could live a more full life. Because her reason behind holding on to it was that she felt if she got rid of the stuff, it meant that she was going to be letting her go. And I'm under the belief that because we are spirit beings having an earthly experience, you'll hear me say that probably more often than not. We're spirit beings having an earthly experience. I believe that because we are always, we are spirit, have been spirit, and will always be spirit, that our loved ones who are also spirit are closer to us now spiritually than they ever could have been in the natural. Because the spirit realm is all around us. And so they may not physically be here, and it sucks. It really does suck. When I think about all of the people that I mentioned and them not being here, the times that I think about it, I literally stop in my tracks and I literally just cry. And I just literally I find myself saying, what are we doing? Like I said to my mother, my aunt, my daughter, with regards to Aunt Pat, like when we went to her homegoing service, like, what are we doing here? Like, what is happening? Because my brain just cannot get around that. I still have times where my brain does not process that Kenny, like for me, there are times where it feels like he's just away. He's somewhere else. But my brain sometimes just doesn't process that he's, not here physically because of death. Until I actually, my brain doesn't process that, so readily, until I actually allow myself to really think it. I'm not the kind of person that goes to the cemetery, and shout out to my Aunt Deborah. I'm going to shout her out right now. My cousin Carl, and I must acknowledge my grandmother Sula Taylor. who passed away in 2003, and my cousin Carl, who passed away in 2010, of a rare form of cancer. That was my aunt's only child, her and her husband. Oh, and I can't even fathom it. I know what it's like to lose a husband. And my heart goes out to widows and women who have lost their husbands and husbands who have lost their wives. But I don't know what it's like to lose a child. And so my heart goes out to my aunt and, many others like her. I have a girlfriend who lost whose daughter, passed away. And our daughters were the same age. Our daughters would be the same age right now. But her daughter passed away when our daughters were 12, And so I don't know what that's like. But shout out to my Aunt Deborah, and I'm praying for, all of the parents that have lost their children, and all of the wives and husbands that have lost spouses and siblings that have, so on and so forth. I'm praying for everyone. But my aunt, I want to shout her out and say thank you always, because I'm not a go to the cemetery type person. I have my feelings on that. I just don't do it. And so, but she goes, and my husband and my grandmother and my cousin and some other people that we know are all in the same cemetery. And so when my aunt goes to care for my cousins and my grandmother's plot, she'll also go and clean up Kenny's plot. And again, don't judge me. I just have my way, what I think. I'm going to leave my feeling on that, because that's my personal view, and I'm not trying to coerce my thoughts or my agenda on anyone else. But that's just me. But if that's something that you do, by all means, that's not to be taken from you. But I was never that way, even before Kenny passed away. So anywho, I want to thank my aunt for that. So, that's another way during the holidays. People go to cemeteries and they visit their loved ones and leave, wreaths and leave flowers and, journal. I think I might have said journal. Write a letter to them. Write a letter to them, especially if it's a situation where a person passed away and you had some feelings in your heart about them that were unsettled. Write them. It's called an unsent letter. And you can either file it away, you can throw it away, you can burn it up. Be careful. I'm not saying be careful burning things up, but I would be very careful. I wouldn't, say if you're not in a safe area where you can do that, to do so. But, you can do that. Again, now that I'm thinking about it, I keep kind of focusing on death, but even with grief, with regards to relationships, this is a hard time for a lot of people in regards to relationships during the holidays too, because the life that they imagined that they would have with someone fell through. It didn't work out the way that they planned, or you lost a child and this would have been their first Christmas or what have you. And it's hard. It's rough. So with regards to the person where the relationship didn't work out the way you planned, write a letter, write an unsent letter to them. That person, you may never see them again, but write that letter, get it out of you. That's the idea, to get it out of you. Write yourself a letter. With regards to how you're feeling. Write yourself a letter for maybe, 10 years from now, where you plan to be, what you would like to see yourself doing, maybe 5-10 years from now. Write down the things about this person or that situation that you loved. Remember the good things. Try to remember the good things. As we are grieving, it's okay. It's okay for us to laugh. It's okay to be happy. It's okay to laugh. It's okay to have fun. And I think that sometimes there are people that feel like if I'm having too much fun, it means that I'm neglecting or not remembering the loved one that I lost in terms of death. And that couldn't be farther from the truth. Again, I've referred to my daughter and her friends. When I tell you, it'll be last night by the time you guys are watching this, because I'm not live, but I know from their Christmas last year, the laughter that is going to commence with these friends, that they're more like family, honestly. They've known each other since high school, and they are now grown many with children, many married, or some married. Are some of y'all married, Shakia? Never mind. And so they're going to laugh. They're going to have fun. And imagine what, that loved one would be doing. If it's in the case of death, go out or go cook that person's favorite meal, or go to their favorite place if you can. And just experience it in the moment. Experience, yes, it's different. The new normal is different. But allow yourself to experience it. Allow yourself to experience it. I'm going to leave that there. Because sometimes our psyche doesn't want to push us past what we feel we can handle. And that's why I encourage therapy, because therapists will help us get to where we're going. For if you're that person that's like, I'm tired of hurting, I'm tired of feeling this way, I need to move forward, and I can't, again, reach out to someone. There's so many other ways, but above all, remember what the holidays were like with that person, and ask God to help you, as I am asking him to help me, move through what the holidays are going to look like moving forward. Yeah, it's not fair. It's unfair. But in the case of like Aaron has 2 sons, and his fiance is raising those boys, and her mom and his mom and their village, just making sure that those little children don't miss a beat. So there's so many different possibilities, so many different scenarios of loss with regards to death, and so many different scenarios of loss in general. But I think the biggest thing that I can say in terms of coping is to allow yourself to feel what you feel. Allow yourself to be happy. I have Christmas music. I don't know if you can hear it, but I have Christmas music playing in the background, and I love Christmas music. I'm the kind of person that plays Christmas music all throughout the year. Like, Christmas music just makes my heart leap. It just makes me jolly. But this year it's been challenging, when there's a lot of new Christmas music out. And I've been engaging and listening and what have you, but put on some music. Put on music that makes you feel good. Go watch a movie. This is a big one. Try to laugh. Try to make yourself laugh. And this is important. And the reason I say it's important is because, especially when it comes to the mind-body connection, and you'll hear me talk about this when we get to talking about that, especially if you're not well, it's important to make sure that you eliminate stress from the body and eliminate stressful situations. So you do not want to be in environments where people are gossiping and talking about people, and there's negativity, and they're angry and negative toward you, and it's a hostile environment. You want to make sure that you're feeding yourself with good vibes, good energy. No complaining. Try not to complain. It's okay to verbalize how you feel. That's not complaining. But complaining about things that we can't change, it's not going to help us. Do our level best to be happy. Tap into the joy that each of us has on the inside of us, that God has given every person. And again, there's so many other things, so many other ways, but I like to encourage you to, again, reach out, comment in the chat. I'm pretty much done. I was trying to find a song earlier in the week prior to recording this that I felt would be so appropriate for how I was feeling and how some of you might be feeling with regards to celebrating Christmas or experiencing Christmas without our loved ones. And I couldn't find a song until literally the morning of me taping. And there's an amazing artist by the name, or artist and group by the name of Lawrence Flowers and Intercession. I mean, I keep him in rotation. And then I was acquainted with his artistry and his gift quite a few years ago, actually. And I fell in love with his music. I happened to be getting ready to for the day one day, and was getting ready to turn on his music on my playlist, and I noticed he had a Christmas album, and I had no idea that came out this year. And so I put it on. It's about 6 or 7 tracks, I think, and oh my goodness, this song just spoke to me, and I'm gonna play it. And I don't have the rights to this music. I'm going to say that right now. I don't have the rights to this music. And I'm also going to probably I don't have the rights to the video that you saw earlier with Lean On Me. No rights to it. Well, kind of sort of do with that. But I don't have the rights to all of the music. And I'm going to play a song by Riff. God bless you. A song by Riff called To Whom It May Concern, I May. I love that song. I've always loved that song. And I think I actually liked that song before I ever met Kenny, which is hilarious. One day when I'm telling you about, his transition and how we met and stuff, I'll tell you about how I met him, and I knew of him before and all of that. But before I met him actually officially, they had this song called To Whom It May Concern with Fred Hammond. So I don't have the rights to all that music either. But again, I'm gonna probably play the Lawrence Flowers song, and because I felt like it's most appropriate. And if I don't play To Whom It May Concern, or I'll probably do To Whom It May Concern in the credits. That's what I'll do. So I'll play the Lawrence Flowers song with a tribute to our loved ones who have gone on this year. I will say this year, a lot of people say, I can't wait for this year to end, or I can't wait for next year. I've not said that. I've not said I can't wait for 2024, because there's still so much life to live in 2023. And this year was a rough year. It really, really has been a rough year. It really, really has been. And if you had told me that 2023 was going to play out the way it did this year, I probably would have been like, I will stay in 2022. I'm asleep. I'm going to sleep through 2023. I'll see you in 2024, because honestly, yeah, I'm trying to fight back the tears because I can't talk and cry. It's going to get really ugly. So, let me just laugh. But I promise you, it was just a lot, just looking at almost seemed like every few months, it just seemed like something and someone. And, there are people even now, that I know that are not well, and, that are fighting, for their lives. And so I'm keeping them in prayer as well, because I know my family, we need a different outcome, but God is sovereign. And I do trust the sovereignty of God. I do trust that there are times when people heal, in the cases where people are sick and they die, or they transition, that they are not healing on this side of heaven, they heal on that side of heaven. And I don't know that I'll ever get used to that, no more than I'm suggesting that you do. But I'm learning to trust it. I don't like it a lot of the times, but I'm learning to trust it. And so I feel like I've missed some information. But again, in closing this out, be true to yourself. Be honest with yourself. It's okay to celebrate. Pick up a new hobby. Get in community. Talk to somebody that you haven't talked to in a while. Stay connected. Don't pull away. Be true to yourself. Take care of yourself. You heard me reference soul injury. Make sure that you take care of your soul. Soul care and self-care is so important in this season. So maybe you go and get a massage. It's okay to take care of yourself. It's okay to pamper yourself. It's okay to go make that meal or have that meal that you desire to have, that you would have planned to have. It's okay to go take the trip, make plans. Make plans for going, on a vacation or going somewhere that you might have gone with that person, whether it's lost by way of death or lost by way of relationship. Again, in the weeks to come, this was a lot for what should have been a small period of time. And in the weeks to come, I'm going to break down the chapters in Good Grief, and I'll be talking about, like relationship lost with regard to relationship, ships, loss of jobs, loss of identity, loss of oneself, because that's a big one. You can lose yourself in relationships, right? I don't even want to get into talking about that, but you have to grieve those things. You get to grieve the relationship that you thought you would have. You get to grieve the children that you thought you would have, if that marriage, that relationship worked out, or that marriage that failed, or whatever. Because that's another thing. Well, I'm going to leave that there. No one gets married to get divorced, right? So just be true to yourself. And be true to the people around you that are also grieving. And allow them to grieve in the way that they do. And don't take away from them the way that they grieve, or them being able to grieve. Don't take that away from them. It's the worst thing that could ever happen, for you to minimize someone else's grief experience. Please don't do it, because you don't know what it feels like to go through what they're going through with regards to the person that you lost and they lost, or whatever, the case may be. So I feel like my soul is clear. I hope I've forgotten anything. And if I have, I'll pick it up next time. Please be blessed and be a blessing. I love you. Peace and blessings to all of you. And I'm going to sign it off with this. Be wealthy. Be healthy. Be happy. And be whole. Be wealthy. Be healthy. Be happy. And be whole. Love until you have no more love to give, and there's no such thing. I love you all. Listen to this song. Thank you so much for taking this time with me. Enjoy this tribute and the song. And I'll see you next time. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like. And don't forget to share this. Thank you so much.
Every year around this time, my chest gets tight when I realize it's on its way. Oh, Christmas Day. Oh, I sit and wait to feel some glee, oh, but when I see a Christmas tree, my heart does break for Christmas Day. You see, Christmas don't feel merry, and the holidays don't feel happy, but I know you're someplace better, so I'll smile and light a candle for you, and your light will shine on this Christmas Day, and I'll feel your love as it embrace, it will comfort me. So I'll smile and light a candle for you. Snowflakes fall while children wait. I think of you, I see your face. My heart does break for Christmas Day. And I place a gift under the tree in the hopes that you'd come back to me. But still I wait on Christmas Day. You'll see Christmas don't feel merry, and the holiday don't feel happy. But I know you're someplace better, so I'll light a candle for you. And your light will shine on this Christmas Day, and I'll feel your love as it warms the place, and your sweet embrace, it will comfort me. So I'll smile and light a candle for you. On this Christmas Day, and I'll feel as it warms the place, and your sweet embrace, it will comfort me. So I'll smile and light a candle for you. So after all is said and done, I can't undo what time has done. So I'll make best of this Christmas Day. But through the darkness that I feel, I see your light. It does reveal the hope that came on Christmas Day.
Many